So, what do you do when you feel like you've lost all motivation to study? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about it. All right, guys. So, I'm going to give you four things that you can do to help you reconnect to studying for this exam. Now, I know that this exam is like tough, right? It's tough in a sense where it's a lot of material, right? Condensed in a 190 question exam, and it can be tedious, but there's a strategy, there's ways to kind of get yourself motivated, get yourself back to the drawing board to just push through to the end, right? And I often tell my students, I say, listen, all you need is a 450. That's it. Even if you get a 450, a 451, that's all you need. Nobody's going to ever ask you what your score was when you're out there in the real world. They're just going to care that you're licensed and you can do the job. All right. So you want to just keep that in the back of your mind that I can do this. And you have to push forward to get to the end because you don't want to waste all the time and all the effort that you previously put in just to throw it all away and said, I'm not doing this anymore. All right. So the first tip that I would tell you on how you can reconnect to being motivated to study is remembering your why. Why did you go to school for this profession? What is your why? Is your why strong enough to keep you going? Is your why your family, being able to take care of your family? Is your why wanting to feel like you have a career? Is your why wanting to pay off debt? You have to ask yourself, what is your why? Is your why that being a coda is a first stepping stone to becoming a OTR and beyond, or opening up your own pediatric practice? Like, what is your why? And when you can reconnect with your why, when you can visualize your success, when you can remind yourself of your why, this is going to help you stay motivated and get you back on the bandwagon. All right. Now, tip number two is to help you stay motivated and keep you studying is that you might need to study in shorter bursts, right? So break it down. Don't feel like you have to study for 6 hours. You do not need to study for 6 hours. I tell my students a good time frame per day is really, I would say 3 hours. If you can get 2 to 3 hours of good studying, which means undistracted, focused study, that will be equivalent to 6 hours of somebody that is kind of all over the place. They're looking at their phone, they're getting up to do something, they're coming back. You might need to just break it down in shorter bursts where you're just doing a little bit of information at a time. All right. So if you find yourself getting very overwhelmed because you're reading a lot, and the thing I have a thing about that is if you're reading a lot of information, you're not actually retaining it. You're just reading and then moving on. But if you can read a small portion of that, take back, think about what it's saying, out of your mouth, verbalize in a nutshell what is being said, right? You are activating something called active recall. And this is absolutely necessary for this kind of exam with this amount of information. So just study in shorter bursts, give yourself some time, and I think that's going to help you. There's nothing wrong with taking breaks in between. All right. Don't feel like you have to study a full hour, a full 3 hours straight. If you need to study for 20 minutes, then take 5 minutes of a break. Maybe you need to study for an hour and you could do that, and you need to take 15-minute break. That's okay. All right. Then the third tip is you might need to change your environment. If you are um, constantly being distracted, right? You need to remove the distractions. Meaning, if you are studying at home and your family keeps knocking on the door, or they're asking you for something, or your phone keeps ringing, or the notifications going off, you need to turn off the notifications. You need to silence your phone, and you may need to just get out of your house, right? I feel like I get my best studying time is when I go to the library or when I go to a Starbucks and I have a nice caramel macchiato in my hand. right? And like a nice warm loaf of like what is those things called? Like I think that they're like the banana loaves. They're so good. For me, that's heaven. And then I can actually focus. So you might need to change up your environment. If you're a nature person and it's warm outside, take your books and go sit outside on one of those little picnic benches and study. It will make the world a difference for you. And then the last thing I want to tell you is make it fun. Studying does not have to be boring. You can make a game out of your studying. You can incorporate your spouse or your kids by asking them to quiz you, or you're acting out the range of motions with your kids and you're saying, okay, elbow flexion, everybody, and they're doing elbow flexion with you, right? So you can make it fun. It does not need to be boring, right? It does not need to cause you to have a headache, right? So these are tips and strategies on how you can stay motivated to keep going until the end and get that 450. So I hope that this video was helpful. I know it was short, but I hope that it was like, yeah, Tamisha, I think you're right. I'm going to try that. If you like these kind of videos and you want to see more of it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please do leave a comment if you have a question or you want me to cover a topic on a video. Please do so, and I definitely will do that for you. If you need study help and you need help with the exam, I do offer a study guide right now called Study with Hakoda. All you have to do is go to my website, studywithhakoda.com, or you can simply just go to the description below where you can access that. Okay? So until next time, guys, bye-bye.